Hello, Italy! Very nice to be here, and thank you very much for having me. I'm so sorry I couldn't be there in person. As you watch this, I think I'm on holiday, and I should be trekking in Nepal. So I'll be thinking of you while I look at mountains. I'm here today to talk a little bit about the gaming world and how it fits into charitable fundraising. So I'm going to go sort of do a deep dive into how we see it at the moment. I'm not going to give too many examples. I know there are some fantastic speakers here today who are covering a lot of these topics already from an Italian perspective. So I hope to be able to bring a global perspective along and shed some light. If you do have any questions at the end, I'm not there to answer them, but please, I'm sure someone will pass on my contact details at the end of this. By all means, send me an email, find me on LinkedIn. I'm more than happy to chat generally. So, without further ado, let's swap these around. Whoa! And I wonder if I do this. Yeah, that'll do. That'll do. That's all right, isn't it? Okay, let's begin. So, fundraising with gamers, separating the fact and fiction. What I'd like to look at today first is what is gaming and how does it raise money for charity? A big question that a lot of people will ask, and as I've written down here, it doesn't. It's a little bit of a common misconception. I'm going to go through these points in a second, but to give you some insight, the gaming community generally are early adopters of technology, so they will tend to pick up the latest consoles, the fastest PCs before they become mainstream and regular people have them, as it were. So when it comes to fundraising in this space and live streaming, they were doing this in 2012, they were doing it in 2010. So they've been doing it for a long time, and now it's opened up a lot more into a wider content creation field. But importantly, we do see the gamification of fundraising. I don't know how well that word translates into Italian, but rest assured, it's not a real word, but it does sound quite good. So, what is in this space? Firstly, we have the content creators. The content creators are the people who make the videos, they do the dances on TikTok, they'll have opinions about things. They tend to be able to broadcast themselves live or pre-recorded, and it's for the entertainment of others. What happens with these, and I'm sure there are some people in the room who will do this today, is you will follow these people online, and you'll feel like you've got a little bit of a relationship with them. Perhaps you understand their perspectives, or it feels like they understand your perspectives. And so if someone perhaps was very good at knitting, let's say, or cooking, maybe you watch their videos, maybe you feel like they're cool, you like them, and then one day they say, we'd like to do a charity fundraiser, would you support the charity I want to support? And you might say, oh yeah, I like this person, I like the charity they've chosen, yes, I'm going to support them with some money. We'll come to that in a second. The content creators tend to gain a following of a few or a lot, and often build these communities and develop them from their followers. So you will see that just when we look at a content creator, it doesn't mean that they have a following of 1 million, 25 million people. It could only be 100, but those 100 people could be very, very close and very personal and have quite an intimate relationship, and this really helps when it comes to asking for money for charity. And I think I've sort of covered off the third point there, but it's an interesting perspective to consider, and I would urge you to think carefully about it. Right, clicking. Next slide. So, what I want you to think about is this not as gaming. I want you to think about it as creation. Creators and creator economy. Here on this slide, to this side, ooh, I don't know, I've never done this before, ooh. You can see here, there's lots and lots of brands available. Again, I'm sure I can share this slide deck if you want to sort of look deeper into it. But Here, right in the middle of the screen, there's a little purpley logo and it says Twitch. And that there is one of hundreds of brands in this space that utilise the tools of content creation every day. You'll see lots of other ones here in the photo and video section. Canva, you might be familiar with, TikTok and YouTube, of course you know, and then people building their own websites with Wix or Squarespace. All of these different things, they all form part of the universe of fundraising in this space. The gaming stuff is definitely part of it, but it's a small part of it. The trends. So I apologise that this might be slightly Anglo-centric or English language focused, but forgive me, this isn't the slide I was expecting it to be. Maybe the next one will be. Anyway, so the trends. You might see some charities pushing out an ask for the back of someone's head saying, please fundraise for me and play games. Look how cool I am. Here are my headphones and my purple lighting. And maybe you'll see people using images of these sort of things. Gamers have become a much smaller segment of this very growing space, and so we tend to try and avoid, where we can, this sort of imagery, and instead replace it with things that are more unifying, perhaps using the charity's brand, explaining what the cause does and not what it is that they could be doing for you. Some interesting stats there. I'll just highlight them. That's interesting. They're the age groups that we tend to see using our platform. So it is a young demographic that operate in this space. Also, in terms of incentivizing people to fundraise, we're seeing a lot less people are wanting swag. I don't know if that's true everywhere, but that's something we are seeing. And by swag, I mean branded merchandise and cool sideways hats. Hang on one second. Got my Tiltify hat on, wear it sideways so you know I'm cool and young. This sort of stuff is down. I'm not actually going to straighten up, that's really off-putting. This sort of stuff is on the down, but what we are seeing is an appreciation for the charity is going up here. So here is a picture of Alana Pierce, a very popular content creator and streamer. She got given a trophy saying that she was one of the biggest fundraisers for the British Red Cross. American Red Cross. Well, she's fundraised for both, but she got this trophy, and that sits pride of place. That's a really, really valued bit of kit. So it's not necessarily about those sort of things. And also the direct engagement with the charity and with your charity. So the ability, like we've got here, we've got a content creator with a child and who's in hospital, and they're quite simply just playing games together. This isn't a fundraiser. This is just engaging with the charity. So something to think about. So here's some buzzwords. Again, this is what we're seeing, and hopefully it will help you understand a little bit what this hat's actually not what I want to be wearing at the moment because the light is getting me up. Now I've got a line across my head. Never mind. So the buzzwords. In 2018, we did refer to this space as gamers. Gamers were very popular, and it is what we were considering. But the thing is that gamers tends to, in the English language at least, suggest maybe gambling. It maybe also suggests people hiding in a dark room with neon lights, in the basement and playing their computer games and not really being that social. So the language changed a little bit to be more sort of players. That is to say, people who are playing games and enjoy the social interactivity of gameplay, the communities and the connections that you're building. But again, we're still a bit too gamers-centric. So in 2020, just around the time of the awful pandemic, the language changed again to be more live streamers. This was something that sort of came out and became much, much more mass, which is that instead of the pre-recorded videos being king, it was the live streams. So people be it broadcasting themselves for 4-6 hours at a time, sat there saying, hello, ha ha ha, what a lovely day it is outside. I don't know, I'm not a content creator, but they'll be making these sort of things, baking, sewing, following their pets, going on walks, all sort of things, but it'll be live, and they'll have their phone with them. And the chat will come up on there, so they can chat along and they can say, oh, hello, Antonio, it's so nice that you're here. Thank you very much. Timoteo, oh my God, it's so funny what you just said there. I totally agree with your statement. Or whatever. They can have a little bit of fun. Then, in terms of the language in the charity sector, what we started to see is another wave again, which is more into the content creator market. So this is taking into consideration the boom of TikTok from 2019, really escalating. YouTube also capturing more on the live and growing pre-recorded content, and things like Instagram taking off. You'll notice I'm not really talking about Facebook, and that's because we don't really see this space as a young person's demographic so much as Instagram, WhatsApp, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, and all the rest. So a content creator is anyone who is just doing anything by creating content for others. And now what we're looking at, and a bit like the slide that I showed you to begin with all of those different columns, it's the creator economy. There is a whole universe. There are businesses that want into the space. There are sports stars that want into the space. Musicians, all sorts of people are trying desperately because this is where the young people are. And ultimately that is where the future of money is. So businesses need to be in the space, and so does the charity sector. I've got some examples for you. So here, this is Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast is one of the, if not the largest YouTuber in the world. He does lots of stuff for charity, but I'm not actually going to be talking about his charity work. I'm going to be talking about him as a gamer, in inverted commas, gamer. This is a video that he posted start of December last year, where he went to Antarctica. Hilarious. And he went down there. I think his challenge was survive 50 hours. And he went there with a couple of friends and just hung out in Antarctica for 50 hours. They dug a hole, they climbed a mountain, they did all of this sort of stuff. But what's important is that someone might consider him a gamer based on his previous videos because he's playing Minecraft or Fortnite or whatever and he's interacting. And yes, that is part of who he is. But he's also, as you can see here, a whole lot more. So importantly, because these videos are getting 2-3 million views each easily, if not way more, there's a real value in sponsoring these videos and getting your name out there. You know, the views that these videos are getting are way higher than a national television show. So here you've got Shopify sponsoring his trek. So the whole trip would have been paid for, and it's going to have got a lot of views because it's incredibly engaging. Another example I have for you here is Gabs. Gabs, I believe she's... I can't remember where she's from. She lives in the UK anyway at the moment. But she's somewhere from Europe. And as you can see, these are some videos that are on her channel here. So just here, these are some various different videos. The second one across is a video of a cat, and it says, I visited the National Cat Adoption Centre, and you can notice by the views it's got more, if not the same as most of her other videos that she's broadcast. It was only 4 minutes long, so it's quite a nice length, and maybe this is going to do more later down the line. She has fundraised for cats protection multiple times and continues to raise large sums of money for them, which is fabulous. But you can see here that the other videos are all about gaming. So you would think, to approach her, I'm going to talk to you about gaming. But instead, the charity has said, let's talk about cats, because that's what we're interested in. And she's really engaged with that. So there's something to think about there, that just because someone likes playing games, or even has their whole brand around games, doesn't mean necessarily that that's what they want to do to fundraise for your charity. Oh, also, I just wanted to say here that some of the comments that you can see here, this was on the day the video dropped. What a sweet video! So cool to the organisation, the charity streams we've got. Can't wait for the next charity stream to help those kitties. People really love this. And even someone here says, the last one, yes, I was a part of the charity stream for them. It kicked off an entire rabbit hole of charities and donation streams for me. And this person and several others as well go on to say how inspired they are to do more for the charities that are being supported. So you've got this amazing ripple effect of love and care that is shared over and over again. Got any more on the trends? Oh yeah, so and then because of all of that, what we tend to see is lots and lots of different things. So In our space, we've got here Relay FM, that one right in the middle there. That was just a group of podcasters, raised $500,000. Just some podcasters. Lots of them, and they set themselves challenges, but podcasting is so popular. It has such a big audience and a rich community around it. People love to talk about their favourite podcast. And so when these podcasters say we're doing a charity stream, people engage. We've got another guy at the bottom here who I'm actually going to go into a little bit more detail about, Sea-Dog, who lives in Japan, and he typically does anime voiceovers for anime. So one would struggle to think, what would this person do for charity? How am I going to think about cartoons and charity? Well, what he chose to do instead was cycle across Japan, 750 kilometres for over 8 days. And that's what he did for charity. So very important to think that just because someone is part of one thing doesn't mean they wouldn't do another. Right. Now to give you a little bit of insight about what Tiltify is, because I realise I haven't really spoken about who we are or what we do. So when you think about all of these people doing their fundraising, a lot of it's live and a lot of it is interactive. One example I didn't go into too much detail on, but you could definitely have a look at, is one called Thankmas. In fact, I will just show you what it was. It's the one in the bottom. It's the blue one, the dark blue one with Jacksepticeye. And on his fundraiser, what he does, very simply put, he just says thank you. He reads out the donations as they come in and says thank you. And last year it raised $10 million, and we're hoping for even more again this year. It's spectacular and it's wonderful, wonderful to see. But this is where the fundraising platform is so important, and I really, really can't stress that enough. So I'm going to take you back a little way to the history of online fundraising. 2002! Ooh, scary times. So when online fundraising began, the fundraising pages generally have three key elements that they'll have. They'll have a donate button, which is very important. It's like a buy now button in a shop. You really, really need that. It'll have an image, something displaying what they're doing. Maybe it's a walk or maybe it's a smiley face or whatever. And then it will have some text, some important text about what the person is doing. Now in 2002, perfect. Wow. Imagine you are at home and you receive an electronic mail, an email, if you will, coming through from a friend saying, I'm going to be doing some fundraising, please sponsor me. You can do it online. Wow. I'll open up the link, I'll click donate, I will donate £10, and the charity has the money. Fabulous. 2002. What a great year for fundraising, just as it started. Didn't really take off for about another 6 or 7 years, but very, very exciting. Then when we go around sort of 2008, 2009, Facebook starts to boom. It's easier to sort of send the same message to lots of people and people will see it at the same time. So this model of fundraising again, instead of having to send an email out, I can just post on Facebook, dear friends, I'm going to be doing this event. Please sponsor me at this link, blah, blah, blah. Click. 10 people will see it. They'll click donate. Fabulous. I've now got 100 euros, whatever. The problem here lies is that before this, the way that people would have done fundraising was very, very different. People might have done fun runs. I mean, people still do those, but they would have done dress down days at work, charity bake sales, lots and lots of things. I couldn't possibly name them all. Sponsor a brick in a building. Write the name on a brick and then have it put in the building. Lots and lots of different things. What we've now got in 2023, it is, yes, just thought I should check the year, is a space where people want more from their engagement. So now, imagine, the year is 2023, you have received an email in your inbox, one of thousands, I might add, and it says, hello, my name's Tom, would you sponsor me, please? You'll see a page like this, and you'll say, sure, here's 10 euros. Lovely. Wonderful. I need more money out of you. So what am I going to do? Am I going to send the same email again? Okay, maybe. Hi, thanks for the £10, 10 euros. Could you donate another 10 euros? You will say, no, absolutely not. Don't be ridiculous. So I have to think about other ways to do that. Now, this is where Tiltify comes in. So the whole point of Tiltify is about engagement and making sure that people really bond with the person that they're donating to. So this is a very, very basic version of Tiltify. You can see here we've got some image, we've got the donate button at the top there, and we've got some text below just explaining, what happens. We can, of course, add an image of the cause that we're helping for. Here, I've decided to fundraise for koalas, a very noble cause, I'm sure you'll agree. Beautiful animal, marsupial. What we can do here as well, in that space, you can have the video. Now, that's very important. If I've made a promotional video talking about something, you might do that. I'm going to play it now. Hopefully the sound will come through. I don't know.
You guys spammed me to plant 20 million trees on Twitter, Reddit, all over my comment section, so I made it happen. Today, we will be planting 20 million trees. You guys spammed me to plant 20 million trees on Twitter.
So there we go. So you can put the video in there pre-recorded, but you can also have the live content. Now, the live content's really important because that's where you can do the immediate things. I get a donation, and in real time, I can say thank you straight away on video to my hundreds, millions of viewers. It's very, very exciting. This is Jacksepticeye from the Thankmas thing earlier. I just wanted to show you this as well. Hopefully it'll come out for you.
That every time a donation is made, the little hearts show up. Okay, there it is. That every time a donation is made, the little hearts show up.
So as you can see, I'm just going to pause that now. Will that work? Didn't work, doesn't matter. But you'll notice across the top there was a totalizer which says how much money has been raised. It will say what's going to happen next later on in the broadcast. So maybe you're only broadcasting for 10 minutes, maybe you're doing it for 10 hours. But you've got that constant schedule and update of what's going on. So, we've now got our totalizer across the top of the screen here. Pardon me. Something that we can add on is milestones. Now, these milestones are designed to encourage people to donate more and more often. So the first one you can see here, donate $100 and I will do a shot of hot sauce. What does that mean? I'm just going to go with something really spicy and go, oh, it's horrible, I hate it. But I'm not going to do that until I get to the 100. Then, when I get to 250, I'm going to upload a school photo, a yearbook photo from when I was 8 years old, and I'm going to post it on Twitter. Everyone's going to see it, but I'm not going to do that until I get 250. Now, of course, I could write all of this below in the text, but importantly, all of this data is usable. So it's coming up I don't know if my mouse will show up on here, but it's coming up on the, oh, it is good, excellent. It's coming up on the milestones here, so I can see the next hot sauce shot will come up, and it's also coming through on that visual overlay where the little hearts are going off and all that sort of stuff as well. Let's stick some money on the totalizer just to get things going. You can see my next milestone I've got here is wear a tuxedo t-shirt to work. So tasteful, so tasteful. So now we've got 3 more things here. We've got rewards, targets, and polls. All of these things really important to engage the viewer, to engage the fan base, to donate and to give. The first one here is rewards. So this is very, very simple. I choose one of these 2 things that I want to donate to, and it's the fundraiser who chooses these, or the charity can add these as well. It's up to you, but it's about making some form of engagement. So $20 here. If you donate $20, I will send you a personal thank you card. Wonderful. So what happens here is if I click select, it's going to ask for my postal address. I could ask another question. What's your favourite colour? I can quantity restrict how many I've got. So maybe I've only got 20 thank you cards to send out. So they're quantity restricted. Or they can be time restricted. Maybe they're only available on Tuesday from 4 till 8. But importantly here, what this means is that if you donate to that reward, you're going to get a thank you card in the post from me. That's cool. Now imagine I'm Tom Cruise. That's really exciting. I want a thank you card from Tom Cruise, and I'll pay $100 for the privilege. Thank you very much. And now you see how this works in the celebrity field as well. Of course, it doesn't need to be that necessarily. It doesn't need to be so complicated. It can just be donate to get your name written on my face, and I'll get a pen and I'll write Tom on my. I don't know why I'm actually doing this. Tom on my face, and that's because someone sponsored me. That's wonderful. And now if you need to know who I am, this is who I am. And that will all happen when people donate. The next one we've got here is targets. So targets work in a way that you can have multiple of these in place, and it's just a thing to try and encourage people to donate to make things happen. But the community can come together to donate to make it happen. So here we've got Unlock, my home movie I made when I was 8 years old. So when this target has hit, I'm going to post this video that I made when I was 8 years old. Now this is by far my personal favourite. This is polls. And I say personal favourite, it's also statistically the best. Typically pages that use this, their averages are ridiculously high. So a Tiltify average fundraising page is around £900, which is about $1,100. So about €1,000, I think we could say. Pages that use the polls, that goes up by 3 or 4 times. Like we see the pages hitting the 3 and 4 grand very, very safely. The way the polls work, super simple. Ask a question, people donate towards the answer. So a question here, if I have to shave my head, should I shave it completely, leave only sideburns, shave it into a mohawk? And I'll put my donation towards the one that I want to see happen. And anyone can donate, of course. The more they donate, the more of the chunk of the poll it takes up, so it becomes really exciting. And, you know, that I might end up having to just shave and leave these little chaps on the side, which would be a look that I'm not going to embrace today. So sorry. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of an insight into how Tiltify works, the gamification angle, the importance of engagement, and really that it's not just sort of gaming, but it's community fundraising, and it's so much sort of bigger than all of that. I will leave you with those thoughts. If you want to know anything else, as I said at the start, my name is Tom. It's on my forehead. Do I have a business card? There we go. Hang on. Let me hold it up to the screen. So is there an email address on there? There we go. If you want to capture my email address, it's tom@tiltify.com. Look at that for professional PowerPoint presentations. Lovely. Very nice to see you. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of day, and hopefully I will make it out to Italy again very soon. I love it out there, and I would love to come to Bologna and eat some of the best food. I think Bologna has some of the best food in Italy from the places I've been. So, enjoy it. Bye!